let's talk about how the month of November went for our secular homeschool family. Welcome to this House of Walls. My name is Ashley, and on this channel, I love to share things about our secular homeschooling. Here we are. November is done. It was an amazing month. The changes that I made helped things just click into place, and it just worked. So we only schooled 3 weeks, 3 full weeks for the month of November, because then we took the full week off for Thanksgiving, and that just gives us all a nice break, and then we were able to go and see some family and just have a good Thanksgiving. The weather is finally cooler. I have a nice fuzzy sweater on to just enjoy that. But let's just talk about things. So at the end of October, I kind of had like an aha moment that the way I had things scheduled just wasn't working. I was really stressing about it, which then, filters down to the kids. So I made it more difficult for myself. We love Build Your Library. I stand behind that. We are still using quite a few things from that curriculum. I am just kind of pulling it apart. And that is just to fit our family. We have decided, and maybe I'll put a picture up here, that Mondays and Tuesdays are history for my 4th grader and geography for my 8th grader. Those days, though, they're going to be just heavy on those subjects so that we can really dive into whatever area we are learning at that time. And then Wednesdays are science days. Again, we can just dive headfirst into it. Now, my 8th grader is also doing world religions, so he is doing that Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. It doesn't take as long. It's usually like reading a little bit of a book, maybe doing some internet links or like a worksheet about that religion that he's studying at that time. And it has made our days so much better. We are not trying to cram 10 billion different subjects into one day. But we are still hitting on all those important things. Fridays have become our family subject days. So right now we have been doing and really focusing on music, poetry, and art, which I will talk about here in a second, but it went really well. I am not thinking that we will always stick with those 3 subjects. I would like to tie in some other things. We, maybe about a year and a half ago, had been doing a philosophy for kids book, and it was so much fun. We had to pause it, but I would love to bring that back out and make that one of our Friday family subjects. Or, anything else that we would like to kind of pull in and do together as a family, and just having that flexibility and that space to be able to do it. And then once we get those big, core loop schedule subjects out of the way, then we do things like math and reading and grammar, writing. Writing is a family subject, so actually before we go off onto our individual big subjects, we do writing. Writer's Workshop by Layers of Learning is still going wonderfully. I'm trying to think when we finished. Let me look. Okay, so it was the very last week of October, we finished a unit, and so the very beginning of November, we started our new unit, which is Fanciful Stories. We have done 3 weeks of it. We've just been busy, so it kind of has been happening like 3 times a week, which is fine. Maybe 2 times a week. That's fine. We're enjoying it. We are liking the things that I am picking from the huge menu of topics, and I am hoping that in the month of December we will finish it. If we finish our unit early enough, I will pull in some fun holiday writing and incorporate that until our holiday break. I think that's all the main intro stuff to talk about. So let's really kind of get into what we did. So I always like to show books that my kids and I have read. We did a bunch of picture books this month, all basically around Thanksgiving theme, and it was a lot of fun. But as for chapter books, let's do my 4th grader first. So he read I Want to Pray. Let me see what he rated it. I don't have it written down. I think he said like 4.5. He really liked it. You were following one who is a slave eventually for Diego Velázquez, painter. So he really enjoyed it. I think the only thing that was a complaint was that the scheduled readings for Build Your Library were just too many pages. The pages itself, they're pretty dense. My son can read it. He was just getting burnt out on the number of pages, so it did take us longer to read, but he still really enjoyed it. He is currently reading Finding Wonders, 3 Girls Who Changed Science. So this you're following Maria Marion, and she discovers the truth about metamorphosis for insects. And then Mary Anning, who discovered fossils and changed people's visions of the past. And then Maria Mitchell, who discovered a comet after years of looking at the sky. So he is reading this currently and really enjoying it. We were able to finish up Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Amazing as always, 5 stars. We loved it. I mean, it's fun. We have paused on our Harry Potter reading. It's gonna take us a while to get through all 7 books, but we have already pulled out our Christmas book, and so this is A Boy Called Christmas by Matt Haig. We've seen the movie, we've enjoyed the movie. My son was a little hesitant to read this, but is actually asking for more times to read it. So I will take that as a win. And then my 8th grader, so he read and finished The Story That Cannot Be Told by K. Jasper Kramer. He did give this one 3 stars, so I just don't think he really fully enjoyed it, but he read it. He is currently reading I Am Malala. This is the young reader's version. When I went to tab this, I think for Build Your Library we're doing level 7. I don't think it's the young reader's version. This is what we had, so he's still going to read this one. It will just take him like 2 weeks of reading it instead of, I think it was like 3 or 4 weeks. The only read aloud that we finished, just because we weren't prioritizing reading it, was Gathering Blue by Lois Lowry. This is book 2 after The Giver. It's definitely different from The Giver just in the location and how this civilization is run, but it was good and we enjoyed it. Glad that we finished it. I do have books 3 and 4 of The Giver series, so maybe we'll get to those eventually. Family subjects, like I said, they went amazingly. So we, for music, are using Squilt, super quiet, uninterrupted listening time. We started with Meet the Instruments, so we got to know an orchestra and the conductor, and then we did the string family, and then, we have paused because now we are using their Christmas Carols Volume 1 unit. This is not secular, but that's fine. I love choral music. I think that it's so beautiful, and I think that it's a good thing to at least know. So this one dives into 5 Christmas carols. And so they are Carol of the Bells, Away in a Manger, Little Drummer Boy, Angels We Have Heard on High, and O Come, Emmanuel. In the month of November, we were able to start the first 2, so we did Carol of the Bells and Away in a Manger. I really like it. There's a ton of different links. So just for Carol of the Bells, we were able to hear like the big, huge Mormon Tabernacle Choir and all the, just like hundreds of people performing it, and it's so amazing. But then there were other links that we could use to hear different versions, including a Muppets version, which was a lot of fun. Can my camera please? There we are. Okay, sorry. It is partly cloudy right now, and so sometimes my camera just is having a hard time readjusting. Anyways, and we're able to stop and talk about the dynamics and rhythm and tempo and instrumentation, and just kind of do more than just listening, but really kind of how the song is. So then we did Away in a Manger, and so we talked about the two different versions of it and how also the, lullaby version of Away in a Manger is so much different than Carol of the Bells. And it was just a lot of fun. So we will continue that in December and finish that unit. Let's see. Art. We just kind of did some different things this month. One thing that we did was these turkeys. They are thankful turkeys. We read a book. I think it's like Attitude for Gratitude. My kids are too old for it now, but it's kind of nostalgic at this point. And so then we created those. We did Art for Kids Hub. I can never remember the correct way to put those words. But they did cornucopias, and that was a lot of fun. At the very beginning of the month, we did a little tiny study on Jackson Pollock. And so then we're able to kind of have fun and recreate some of his art. I did just purchase an artist study that we are going to incorporate as needed. There are 9 artists in this, and I'm not thinking that we're going to do like an artist a month, because there's some months that, we want to pause and just do Thanksgiving crafts. This next month we're going to be doing all kinds of Christmas stuff. But for those months that we don't really have any other things going on, we're going to pull from Blossom and Root. This is from their level 4. Yes. And it is 9 Profiles in Art, Volume 1. And this just goes through a diverse variety of artists, which is definitely what I was looking for. So you stay on an artist for all 4 weeks, and they are not difficult, overly time consuming. We will be able to finish that artist study for that week in 1 day, which is what I need to have planned. So it's really cool. So you do a picture study, and so you pull up a picture, look at it, talk about it, and then you talk about the artist, so kind of getting the history of the artist and how they painted, why they painted what they did, or sculpted, or any, whatever they were doing. And then the very last part, you recreate whatever you were studying. And so I love that. Obviously, you can also incorporate in some picture books and things like that, which I will try to do. Let me go grab it. Okay, I have a couple of extra resources that I can pull in if I am able to, want to, need to. But first we have Vincent Starry Night and Other Stories. I've talked about this before. It has like little short stories in it. They're about 3 pages long, all about different artists. And then these two, we're using them for Build Your Library level 3, but I think you use it over like multiple levels. We're not really using them anymore because now we're just doing art together as a family subject, but I have them and so want to use them if I can. One is Discovering Great Artists, and so you kind of learn a little bit about an artist, and then there's usually like a thing that you can do. We also, and love this book, we had this even before Build Your Library, The Arts, a visual encyclopedia. And so again, it goes into artist studies. It also talks about different styles and why those styles happened and kind of what areas, different art that happened during those styles. Definitely during the beginning of the year and stuff like that, we will be pulling in from this Blossom Root art study. So that's kind of where we will go. Also, we will just continue doing YouTube videos and whatever other art things that we feel like. Poetry for this month, we just used a couple of poetry books that I already have on hand. I have not found a big, diverse poet study yet. Still looking for that. But I do have these books that I just pulled off my shelves. This is Poetry for Young People. We have quite a few, but we do have Robert Frost, Emily Dickinson, and Edward Lear. So we could just kind of use these and be fine with it. Each one does have an introduction. All right, that's all the family subjects. It's all going well. Everything is going well. So let's talk about some individual things. I don't have much. My 4th grader, everything is going well. I think one of the biggest things that I changed for this month was we're doing Beowulf's grammar 2 days a week. I feel like this is pretty meaty and I want this to stick and these concepts to stick. Some of it's review, some of it is new. And it's just fun. My son is definitely having a lot of fun with this. We definitely, because we're only doing it 2 days a week and it is written to be done 5 days a week, we tend to do 2 days at a time if we can. One, if it's really like meaty and any, a new subject, stuff like that. But we try to do 2 days and knock it out. If we finish, I'm not quite sure what we'll do. I have a point where I would like to stop this curriculum for this year and possibly use it for next year. We will see. That will be coming probably in February. I will be having a video talking about possibilities for next year. Can't believe we're already there. I mean, we have finished 17 weeks of school, so we are almost halfway through the school year, which is insane. Then for my 8th grader, 2 things that I wanted to talk about. He did have a curriculum change, and that is grammar. We were using a lot of, is it the Learning Company? We were using a bunch of those. I think that my son needs repetition, and he's a very good audible learner. In the past, we have used Well-Trained Mind. I will say that there is a really, really big leap from their elementary version to their middle school and high school version. And so we have been floundering because he was not ready for the older version yet. He knew the stuff, but he had some, maturing and things to do to be able to take on a meaty curriculum. He was doing just these kind of workbook things, but I don't think he was really taking in anything from it. He was doing the sentence diagramming, but he couldn't tell me what any of it meant. He just kind of memorized, well, this is where these words go and this is where this goes, but he didn't understand why. So I downloaded a sample from Grammar for the Well-Trained Mind, which is their middle school to high school year levels, and it went really well. We did a week of it and sat down and, okay, what do you think? And he's like, yeah, this is easy. I'm like, yes, it's easy now. It's all review. There are different colors and they're all the same curriculum, just with different examples on the inside of it. If you're on one color and it's just getting too difficult and challenging, you can set that aside, buy a different color of it, and work from there. I am going to have a whole flip through on all of this. This is just a very wordy version of me saying, we liked it, and so I bought it. So he is working through the yellow workbook. It is a chunk. There is a lot to it, but I will tell you what, the repetitiveness that he got from having to memorize these definitions and the words for, state of being verbs, all of these things, they were still in his mind from when he did this in 5th grade. They were still buried back there, and it has been pulling it back out. That is going really, really well. I, for myself, have the instructor guide, so this I can reuse for any color level that we do. It's all the same instructor text. Like I said, the only difference is that the examples in here are different. And then I also have an answer key for the yellow book. And then I just wanted to do a little shout out. We did a little celebration because math for my 8th grader has been a struggle. We have really had to figure out what works, what doesn't work. We decided to try Denison Math this year. There's no looking back. This is what he is using through high school graduation. It's amazing. He is catching math for the first time in a really, really long time. And he is gaining confidence in his math, which is incredible. So he is doing the pre-algebra, which is great. It's a lot of review, but for November, he actually started getting into the algebraic chapters and not the basic arithmetic chapters. And so he just took the chapter 6 test. He got 100%. He didn't miss any. He has not had to retake any tests so far. I know that later levels get more challenging. This is pre-algebra. But he has not made, I think, under an 88% on a test so far this year. Most of them have been 90% or higher. And then, yeah, 100%. I couldn't believe it. So if you ask me if this math is working, absolutely this math is working. I have a flip through video for the pre-algebra level if you want to go check that out. Okay, I think that's it. Another video of me fighting with lighting. I don't know what to do because I'm just, I'm in front of a big sliding glass door and it just has been cloudy or partly cloudy every single time that I have been trying to film. So sometimes it's really cloudy, sometimes it's really light. I hope that your homeschooling month for November went really well as well, and that December is great. We have a lot of fun things planned. The video that I posted last week is talking all about our holiday plans and kind of what we bring in to make the holiday season special in our homeschool and our household. I am trying to post quite a bit over the month of December. I think on this channel it's just going to be one day a week. It's not our busy time, but I have found a video for every week. My book channel, though, I will be posting every Thursday and Saturday as I kind of tie up my year of reading. So if you want, go check out those videos. It's linked down below. But as always, thank you so much for watching. If you like this or anything else that I post here on this channel, make sure to like and subscribe down below, and I will be back for more soon.